Hello, friends, and welcome to Artifact Adventure Episode 4! Oh, gotta love that music. First of all, let me just start out by saying this is a little bit of a different compression I'm using on the video here, so if it looks a little worse, let me know. It makes a much smaller file size, but I get the feeling that with the high motion and the speeding up all the video, it's gonna look a little blurry. But, you know, it's kind of still working with it. Anyway, about the game, let's actually talk about what we came here to see. Start the video off in town, where we left. Immediately check the shop. I don't buy anything yet, but I'm actually making a list. Now, I'm not writing stuff down, but I'm making a list of what I want to buy. Something I do in RPGs is when you get to a new town, you have obviously better equipment. That's pretty standard practice. So I'm kind of making a list of how much money I'm going to need. I talked to this guy down here, and I talked to him because he mentioned something about the sap. Now, we picked up the sap in the last episode. We weren't able to use it. We weren't able to give it to the guy. So that kid says to put the sap in front of the lake. Now, I don't actually end up doing this, which is terrible. I know. Because what I'm doing now is I'm making the list, checking it twice, finding out who's been naughty and nice. No, what I'm actually doing is I'm going here and I'm going to just kind of grind. And I'm not going to make you sit through my grinding, of course. But I come in here with the intention of going to that lake. And I realize that my strength is just, it's not sufficient, I feel. You can watch here, I do a battle for you. You know, so you can kind of get a feel for how the fighting's been going so far. And you can see we're actually taking, you know, not a ton of damage, but enough that it's an issue. So I grind, I do a little transition there, and we're now at level 7, which is fantastic. In this game, each level makes a huge difference. And the stats don't necessarily reflect that. I show every character there so you can see them. The stats don't reflect how big of a difference it makes. And I didn't realize until earlier, I didn't check these stairs. So I come down here, on camera of course, to investigate this area. And this is where the game really shines, but it also kind of shows a lack of mental discipline for me. And for probably other players of this game too. Maybe it's not so much a lack of mental discipline as it is a, ooh, shiny, let's go over there. Oh, another shiny, let's come over here. This guy offers me $1,000 to take something to a city. He says if I mess it up, I lose 800. So I think that's 200 bucks, whatever. You know, I'm trying to make money to buy these new items and equipment anyway. It's a suspicious package. Whatever. I could have said no. Again, in this game, you get so many choices. I said yes because I think I can just warp to that city. Little did I know. I won't spoil it for you. It's coming up here real fast. We jump to the town. I come in here, and I'm looking for a suspicious guy. He says, you know, give it to, you'll know who it is. I don't know who it is. So I'm looking around for a suspicious guy to give this package to. And I kind of check around, and I miss it, but look on the right here, there's a guy, I don't even see him. So I come in this well, I speed it way up because this well is so big. I think it's this guy. This guy doesn't want the package. I think he looks suspicious to me. I would have given him the package. I leave, I check around the outside over here, nothing. I check around the outside over here, and I see this guy. You brought the goods, let me see, it's not enough. I'm not going to sign for this package. And I immediately think I've been swindled. Well, I'm in the castle, I come over here, I speed it up here to get to the jar goblin guy. And I give him some of the jar goblins. He says, hey, you know, you ready to leave? I say no. I come over here, I open the door, we get, of course, this, I don't know if this is still in the Steam version, I haven't played the Steam version yet. But the button right next to the menu that opens up the dev menu. Whatever. I get to this relic. No idea what it does. The thrill of victory. I don't know. I'm thinking like maybe like everybody gets stronger. I'm not really sure. So I check it. What did it do? I'm not even sure. I can't remember. I think it summons enemies. I'm like, what does it do again? And here I am. I'm getting this new helmet out. We got this new helmet. Really powerful for this part of the game here. Helmet that increases attack. You know, in RPGs, there's always these cross items. You know, like an item that increases your defense, but also gives you fire resistance. Or an item that increases your speed and defense. I love those kind of those equipment choices. Because then one equipment isn't necessarily better than the other based on a single number. You have to make decisions. Something about games where you make decisions, you know. It feels like it gives you more agency. So I enjoy that. I think that's an added benefit. I end up, you know, shuffling my equipment there. I go back to the town now. The guy said he's not going to sign for the package. I figure that, you know, I probably lost my $800 is what I think. I think, like, this is a choice. You lose the $800. You must have dropped some. Oh, well, go get some more. So it wasn't drugs. It was actually gems. Or ore from the gem mines. And we had heard about the gem mines before. We got the sword. The guy wanted us to take the sword to the gem mines and find the fire ember to empower the sword. So the gem mines were already on my radar. I completely forget about the forest with the sap, even though I think that, you know, that's probably a pretty easy task. So I come in here. I'm a little nervous because this is a new area. In this game, the world map always has the same strength enemies. Wherever you go, it seems like the world map's always, you know, low-level enemies. You go into any cave, and all of a sudden, it's like, you know, level check. Are you powerful enough to make it through here? You know, that's pretty common for RPGs, but in most RPGs, the world map seems to scale, but since you can choose an airship right from the get-go, and we level up again, by the way, since you can choose an airship right from the get-go, I think the world map is all standardized, level 1 to 3, random encounters. I'm not sure if that's the case. I didn't pick the airship, but I wouldn't be surprised if anywhere you land, you're going to be fighting the same level guys. So I come back to the first town. This is a little trick. If you're following along, if you're playing this game as well, or if you're just checking it out, thank you for watching, obviously. The first town inn never seems to get more expensive. You know, a lot of inns scale with level. That inn does not. So we head back to the gem mines here. This time we're going to head south. 3 chests. I like to see it. Random encounter right on top of the chest. 1,000 gold. Got poisoned in the last battle, so I end up clearing my poison away here. Poison in this game does 1 damage per step. Fatal bullets and another 1,000. So 2,000 gold and a weapon item that I'm never going to use. If you buy rifles, if you pick the character that starts with rifles, you can buy a rifle. It's really expensive. You can pick it up in the 2nd or 3rd town. It needs bullets. It'll consume ammo when you fire it. So it's a bit of a pain because it takes up, first off, the equipment slot. Second off, you lose another item slot because you have to be carrying around ammo. And then you need lots of it. Obviously, you're not going to want to run out in a critical situation. Same with the bow. In the other town, they sell a longbow. It does just as much damage as the sword. I suspect it's better than the sword because you can, you know, buy better arrows, but it uses up multiple slots. So this guy tells you he got the job for the ore too. The ore sells for 2,000. The guy's giving you 1,000 plus 500 for picking it up. So you're effectively losing 500. But if you sell the ore yourself, he'll take the 800 gold deposit. So you're basically screwed. Now, I'm thinking, like, that sucks, but whatever. You know, if I had known that beforehand, maybe I would have said no. But that's life, you know. In this game, you make some choices. You now know they're not the optimal choice. We get this thing here, Steel Breaker. I end up giving it to my healer, thinking that it's a defense boost, or defense drop, I should say, on an enemy. It is. It lowers the enemy's defense. I don't know if I'm ever going to use it, but there might be situations against bosses where it makes sense to use a turn to cast that, so you can do more damage long term. Anyway, we pick up the ore. And there it is, the raw ore. Just as valuable ore. I kind of feel swindled, you know, and I'm thinking, like, my guy his name is Shady Guy or whatever. He gives you a shady package. He's a shady-looking mofo, so I should have known. But I'm only out like 300 gold overselling, or 500 gold overselling it myself. It's not a big deal. I'm not super upset about it. I just figure maybe, you know, possibly I can do this quest multiple times, collect a lot of money, maybe the chest refills if you talk to him. I decide to come down here, and I make a mistake coming down here. Although I make another mistake not finishing it. You might have recognized, I kept this battle in because you might have recognized the Eye of Satan. That's the enemy that rocked our world in the first dungeon when I found the secret staircase to a hidden 2nd floor. Go back and see that if you haven't noticed that yet. That was a really cool find, but obviously we were way too weak at the time. We were like level 3 when we found that. We're now level 10, and those Eyes of Satan still kick our butt. I end up using the healing water here. It does what I suspected. It's a full party heal for about 70 or 80. So it might be worth picking up a bunch of those, but they're 300 gold apiece. In the end, I didn't even need to use it. because nobody was going to die. But I thought maybe they were. So we stay at the inn here. We go back to the other town. And you'll see that. We do that in this episode. But now that I've gone that path with the poison pits around there, I don't end up going back yet. And I will go back in the future. Both to the forest to finish that off and to the gem cave to finish that off before we move on to the next area. But I come here to tell the guy I've got his ore. And he says, I wonder if you figured it out. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, I gotta kill you. I didn't want to fight the guy. I was just like, I found out your scheme. I'm cool with it. You know, I got nothing against it. You make a little money. You're a middleman. He's making like 500 gold off of me. You know, that's fine, because without him, I wouldn't have known to get the ore. I wouldn't have, known all that. I don't know if something different happens if you go talk to the guy in the first castle instead of coming to this guy. I thought I had to come to this guy to get him to repackage the new ore into another suspicious package. I'm not sure if this quest can be handled in a different way, and I would love to hear if other people have had a different outcome. But I kill him, get a lot of experience for it, get to access to behind him, where we get a new relic. And this relic is actually, I think, pretty important. The explosion mole. All of the relics we have thus far hit either a single target or a group. This one hits everybody. Just like the boom or bang spell in Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest, this one will target people in different groups, effectively making it super useful when you're fighting 3 different groups or 4 different groups all together. You can hit everybody. And the mage is so buff in this game. The mage is so powerful. You do have to protect him with a warrior or a monk in the front, but keep the mage in the back and he will be your big damage dealer. More than enough MP to really dish out the hurts. And I speed it up here because I spent some time shopping. So, in this video we ended up almost clearing the gem cave, but we did miss one final area. We didn't get the sword. You know, there's supposed to be a relic in there that gives you like a fire attack, or you can use it on the sword. So there's still more to do. There's still more to do. Level 10 on everybody. We're looking pretty strong at this point, which is fantastic news because you start out really weak. I mean, you don't ever feel super weak, but when you level 3 or 4, you're kind of weak. This guy's gone. I was going to come back and be like, hey, maybe now I'm your boss. No. He's gone. That quest is finished. Those people both are gone. We killed one, the other one disappears. He never comes back, as far as I can tell. So, at this point, I'm now thinking we've got a lot of money. We can go buy one of those keys. This guy, I come back to him. He tells me that I could go fetch a key in the upper area in like a little, I don't know, something across the bridge. I just come down and buy the key instead. It's 2,500. We do eventually, and you notice when you buy the key, he still sells them. So he's got more than one. I just can't afford it. I just can't afford a second one. I just confirm we do want the thing on the far left. The spirit of iron or steel or something like that. Now, it does say it revives you when you die. So I think I'm going to give this one to the healer, because if in a battle the healer dies, there's nobody to heal anymore. So I give it to him. I think it's going to cost some MP, but it turns out it costs 0. After defeat, revive with full HP. I suspect that might be a one-time use. I'm not sure. Anyway, at this point, we're going to go ahead and cut it here. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoy what you saw. We've powered up a lot, and there's still a lot more to do. So, until next time, friends, feel free to like the video if this is something you're interested in. Feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Feel free to scroll down and check out the Patreon page. And if this game interests you, check out the Steam store or the Playism store. The game is cheap. I think it's worth it. So until next time, friends, take care and stay classy.